Hello, everyone. This is Mike from Dimensional Walking. And today I'm going to tell you an interesting story that back several years ago, I had a conversation with a gentleman from Memphis, Tennessee. And this was back in, it probably was June of 2010. Okay. So this guy was I consider himself a prominent uh, person from Memphis. And he was kind of he was an artist. He did landscapes, and apparently he was quite famous, or in his own right, he was quite famous. Anyways, he was telling me a story that he was sitting on his back patio, and he said he does landscapes. That's his type of painting and drawings he does, and he was sitting on his patio and he was kind of looking up at the sky and looking at the horizon and etc. And all of a sudden, he saw this amazing, I guess he ended up calling it a UFO. It was cylindrical and it was made up of, I believe he said, like five or six. It looked like diamonds. They were glittering and sparkling, and I think he described it as they were like a row of marbles but diamonds. Okay, and they were high in the sky, he said. um and he said it was incredible. He couldn't take his eyes off of it. He was kind of wondering all the time, did somebody else see this or was looking at this at the same time? And he just kind of stared at it, and it didn't move. It just stayed in the one position. He was certain it wasn't a balloon. He had never seen any. He's seen other things in the sky. He said, I've seen plenty of balloons, but this was really different. Um, this was truly something of awe. Um, anyway, so he watched it, and he watched it for probably a full 30 minutes. Okay. And at first, I kept on saying, well, maybe this is experimental aircraft. Maybe it was, then he talked about the balloons, which he debunked. He said, no, it's not a balloon. I had seen that before. I'd never seen, of course, he never saw them looking like diamonds and in a row like it was. So he was pretty much beside himself. Um, so he did say, and maybe I gave it not quite correct. He said it was like six or seven diamonds in a row. Okay. And he said that pretty much is what it looked like. He said that it wasn't that the diamonds are so bright, but they were so large and they were glittering and glowing. He said you just really couldn't see much more of it. You couldn't see if there was windows in the craft. You couldn't see anything else, but that's what it was. Um, so he said that the object was approximately on a 45-degree angle with the upper part pointing towards the southwest. Um, and what was also interesting, he said, while this 30 minutes was happening, this time frame, he said that several commercial jets flew under it. Okay. And he said that they were tiny compared to this object. He said they were absolutely tiny. He said he marveled at just seeing the little tiny jets fly. Apparently, he wasn't too far from the airport. Um, anyways, one of the things. So what eventually happens? He's watching it, and he drew it down. I was hoping I was going to get and this I did my interview. It was kind of over the phone. So I'd asked him if he would send me the picture of the drawing, and he said he would, but I never did get the drawing. But anyways, and he was always under the impression like he was kind of the only one, and this was kind of for him only, because he said the next day he looked around and he skirted around. He couldn't find anything really in the paper talking about that. One of the articles said something about some lights in the sky, but it really wasn't the same thing that he saw. So he was kind of thinking maybe this is just for him. Maybe it was some kind of a spiritual vision. Who knows? Whatever. So anyways, he he uh, he was kind of amazed that there was nothing else in the media about it. Uh, so again, he tried to started thinking again, maybe this was some kind of a spiritual thing. And anyways, one thing that did happen the next day, apparently, one of his dearest and best friends died. So that kind of made him think, well, maybe this was something to do with him. Um, and anyways, this guy, I checked this guy out. Now he told me I can't use his name, so I'm not going to use his name. And I did look him up, and definitely this guy was a very credible person from Memphis. Um, and anyways, this was the guy. I mean, I had met this guy once before, and we had talked. It was on a air flight. I was flying, doing some work in the I think it was in Florida, and I was flying back through Memphis, and we met on the plane going into Memphis. Um, so, anyways, I had chatted with him. That's how he knew me, and that's why he got a hold of me when he saw this strange thing up in the sky. So, anyways, that's how it was. And then I had seen him, I knew his face, and then I looked him up. I just want to kind of explain to you how I why I did what I did. So, anyways, he looked legit. He looked very credible and legit. And far as I know, I talked to him again, and he wasn't able to get down to anything else in what he saw. But he said that it was a profound experience. Whatever it was, it like communicated with him or something. And of course, when his friend died, then he felt, wow, this was really, really, really something special. So anyway, so I did some more deep diving. Now this was back again. I put the article and some of the information I gave you uh, in Truth Seeker Forum in I think it was the late 2010. Okay, so I did a deeper dive, and I wanted to see if I can add or subtract anything from what he said. Here were some of the interesting things. Apparently, there was quite a bit of reporting on it. Okay, so it kind of suggested that there was quite a few witness interviews. There was quite a few news articles on it after. Now, I think this was probably after I talked to this guy. Some of them seemed to come out, and it seemed like there was various witnesses at different angles and different locations around the Memphis area that basically had seen this object. And there was a great deal of a surge on the social media. There was a buzz on social media about it, and there was quite a few individuals that saw it. But as far as getting a accurate count on how many people saw it, my guess was probably between a half a dozen, couple dozen, not half a dozen, a couple dozen to potentially several hundred. Okay. Now, um, some of the things and some of the other witness type sightings I read about and did some research on, there was always this awe and wonder. People that watched it for the full 30 minutes, because basically after 30 minutes it took off. Uh, really started questioning a lot of things, and as the time went on, it was really strange. For a few minutes, it wasn't a big deal because I think everybody expected it to like go off, just disappear and leave. It didn't. And then there was this kind of fear and uncertainty that fell among these witnesses. All of them said the same thing basically. We really got concerned because it was there. And everybody in their mind always said, well, the UFOs usually come and they go, and it's all within a few minutes, right? Or even seconds. But this one stayed for the full 30 minutes. Um, so then there was kind of a frustration and helplessness that kind of fell over the group. And I think part of it was because they didn't really see any military. They didn't see anybody coming to kind of get a little closer. And a couple of them even saw these planes passing underneath it. And there didn't seem to be, any type of urgency. There was no police. I think a couple of witnesses said they called the police and they just made kind of okay, fine, we'll check on it, comment, and there was nothing else. They didn't come or seem to be. There was nobody around observing it in an official way. So that really really upset them. Now, one of the things that I just wanted to stress to everybody was that this 30-minute encounter was exceptionally rare because of the length of it, And what was also amazing, it's probably one of the longest UFOs, UFO sightings in the United States that was established, official sighting. Basically, this is an official sighting in the United States, and nobody else has ever seen. I've never heard of one that was 30 minutes. Now, if you guys have heard ones that were 30 minutes and were credible, let me know. But I had never, over all the years I've been doing this, I've never heard of one for 30 minutes. So, anyways, with all that said, thanks a lot. If you have any more information about this, or if you're from Memphis or you happen to see it in 2010, April 2010, please let me know. You can put your comments here, or you can go to Dimensional Walking at Gmail. So, anyways, just want to know and hope you enjoy. See ya.